Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets, available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Joe Sullivan. Joe is the host of the Manufacturing Executive Podcast. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Joe. Joe Sullivan. Joe, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start a marketing agency, Gorilla 76,
Yeah.
and focus on specifically one niche, manufacturing,
Yeah, it's a good question. It sort of happened by accident at first and then became very intentional once we realized there was an opportunity. So, it's my business partner, John, and I founded the firm almost 15 years ago. It was sort of a nights and weekends sort of deal at first for us that very quickly after 2 years turned into a full-time gig. But some of our earliest clients were B2B industrial sector companies, construction, some small manufacturers, among everybody else that, anybody else who'd write us a check, frankly.
Yeah.
And we figured out pretty quickly that we really liked working with companies that made stuff with their hands, gritty industrial sorts of brands. And it, a few years later, we said, let's own this. Let's just go. This is the companies we like working with. There's a lot of opportunity here. We're doing good work. We're getting people results. Let's own it and be an industrial marketing agency.
This is good. And how has that experience looked like so far after?
It is the best decision I think we've probably made as an agency. It was a little scary because, we started as generalists. We had clients who were the hairdressers and dentists and construction companies and manufacturers. And it was kind of all over the place. And by creating a niche, we shrunk our world quite a bit down to, a very specific type of customer. And it was kind of a scary moment in time because we thought it was the right move, but you don't know until you do it and make the leap. And really quickly, everything kind of snowballed for us. All of a sudden, when the right companies would show up at our door, they're looking at what we do and saying, geez, like you really understand manufacturers. This issue and this issue and this issue that you list on your website are exactly what we're experiencing. And then by working more and more with companies who are similar, all of a sudden you start to see trends and patterns that emerge in terms of the problems they're trying to solve and the things they're trying to achieve. And then we started developing a deep expertise there. So in our earliest days, were we kind of faking it? Well, I mean, maybe not faking it, but you have to start somewhere. But all of that, the knowledge we've acquired along the way by just working with so many mid-sized manufacturers has led us to develop some pretty deep expertise there and understand those customers and what matters most to them, in a very deep way, I guess.
Wonderful. This is good. It's rare to have agencies who are focusing on one niche because mostly are like across the board because I speak with so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joe, based on your manufacturing executive podcast and Gorilla 76, your manufacturing mid-sized companies, industry knowledge based on the experience, what are the top 3 missteps to avoid based on your observation and experience so far over the years in a manufacturing company to grow, especially in this economy?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, a few things I'd say here. The first mistake I see everybody making, and this frankly is goes well beyond just the confines of the manufacturing space. Everybody defaults to talking about themselves, talking about their products and their services and how great their people are and how amazing their customer service is. And that may be true, but nobody cares. And that's the reality. Nobody cares until they believe that you understand them, that you've seen the issues they're experiencing before, that you've helped other companies who look like them solve those issues that they're having. And so you need to flip the script and start focusing on the customer issues, the things that the buying triggers that lead your customers into the buying process, the questions they're asking on sales calls all the time, the problems they're trying to solve. Focus on that and talk about that and educate on those things. And that's how you gain their attention. And then you can talk about yourself when they're actually starting to vet you and you've earned some trust. So that's mistake number 1. Talking too much about yourself. Number 2, I'd say forcing a fit when there's not a fit. I think this is a common sales mistake where you go in selling hard instead of focusing on those needs and goals of the customers. And the reality is, some companies are a good fit for you and others aren't. There's a great quote, I don't remember exactly how it goes, from a book called Same Side Selling. Ian Altman and Jack Quarles are the authors of this book. And Ian Altman, he kind of had him on our podcast at one point, and he talked about, he uses this line like, hey, we're a good fit for some companies, but not all. And if this and this and this is true, we might be a fit, and let's talk about that. If not, I'd probably point you to this guy or this guy or this guy. And I think that's really important. Otherwise you end up going down a path where nobody's going to be happy in the end. And you're probably going to do unprofitable work for the wrong type of company, and your customer's not going to be happy. So that's number two. And then number three, I think, is having imposter syndrome. I think a lot of companies get really intimidated, like, oh, I don't want to publish this insight because it's been talked about by other companies who are bigger than us. And who cares? I started a podcast where I'm interviewing CEOs of manufacturing companies, and I felt that at first too. I felt like, geez, who am I, this marketing guy, talking to CEOs of $50 million manufacturing organizations and best-selling authors like Ian Altman, who I just mentioned. But people are happy to engage in conversations, especially when you don't come in, ready to sell. You come in, to have a conversation or to share some insights. So I think avoiding having imposter syndrome and just having the confidence to publish insights, to try to start conversations with the right people. So those are my three missteps to avoid.
Those are really good ones. It's very deep. I have to watch this one 2-3 times, just this part alone, because that's a very key. Yeah, people think, oh, so many people have interviewed other people. You have been interviewed. Joe has been interviewed at so many places. Guess what? You came to this place too. But on Growth Hacking Secrets, why? Because people love to have the conversation. If you hear the same conversation on multiple platforms, that sets you apart from many other places. You become the expert.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, same news item is published everywhere in the world, and everyone having a different perspective on that one.
That's right. Absolutely. You can put your own twist on it. You can build on something.
Yeah.
Think about news that's out there. Like, what can you offer perspective on it? That might be a little different, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, Joe, you see so many working manufacturing companies. I'm sure not everyone has been successful, because you see some bleeding companies too. And so what is the single most professional failure you have gone through yourself, or you have observed from one of your clients? And what did you learn from that, and how did you recover from it?
Yeah, that's a good one. I think one of the biggest failures maybe is and we're niched down, right? We've talked about how we've niched down, but I see a lot of companies just not being decisive about where they're going to focus. It's just this lack of focus. We're going to try, we sell, this 15 different product lines to 20 different industry verticals, and they're all equally important. And this is just, it's like a syndrome, almost like something that, companies suffer from, where you need to look at what are you really good at doing, and who are your best, most profitable types of customers, the ones that value you, the ones that are high margin, that become lifetime customers, and try to create some focus on them and own it. And especially when it comes to marketing, like when you try to be everything to everyone, you just spread yourself thin and you wind up accomplishing very little. And so it's really the first piece of advice we give to any new manufacturing organization that we advise is let's look at where your sales are coming from, and especially your high margin sales. Let's look at your core competencies, and let's make some decisions. Doesn't mean you can't do business with others. It just means that your focus should be here and here, because this is where you're truly an expert and where you're truly profitable.
Yeah, no, this is a really good one, definitely. So let's switch the side. So what are your top 3 success secrets? One is probably the focus. So what are your top 3 success secrets as an agency for manufacturing?
Yeah, so I probably talked that one to death already. That was number one. But yeah, create focus. So going forward from there, I think, and we kind of touched on this already, but have an opinion and publish it. put your spin on it, like I just said. And along those lines, stop worrying so much about your competitors. Focus on your customers and what they care about, and publish insights on that. These insights can be, what you're doing here with having a live, podcast or a webinar series. It could be written content. It could be a variety of things, I guess. There are a lot of ways to do it. Clubhouse is emerging right now as a fantastic platform for thought leadership. If anybody listening has not gotten in there yet. So I think that's a good one.
You mentioned about Clubhouse. Here's my Clubhouse ID.
There it is. Go check it out. It's it's the Wild West right now, but I think there's a lot of potential there. I've been kind of immersing myself in it over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, so I think that's the other one. Have an opinion and publish it. Pick a platform, whether it's LinkedIn or your own blog or the Clubhouse or wherever. And then I think my third secret to success is simple. It's, if I ever write a book, it's going to be called something like, the 4-letter marketing strategy, GIVE, GIVE. Help people first without any expectation of anything in return. It's sort of a cliche thing, but man, have I found it to be true over the course of my career. And in particular on the marketing front, I talked about publishing insights. Well, if you can stop worrying so much about giving away your secret sauce and think about how can I publish insights that are genuinely helpful to people when they ask me questions about them. Can I engage in personal conversations with these people, whether it's direct messages through LinkedIn or quick phone calls? I do this all the time, and by doing so, I get referrals. People share my stuff online, and there's been no better marketing strategy for me, and it's rewarding too because you are genuinely helping people along the way. So. Those are my secrets.
Wonderful. I love the word 4-letter GIVE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. So
very simple.
We happen to agree on that too, because I always invite people to, hey, be a guest on my show. That's from the position of giving. It gives me the opportunity to learn about that person and learn from their, like missteps to avoid and success secrets, and help you to build a relationship with very high speed.
Agree.
Yeah. Wonderful. So that's what you're doing with the manufacturing executive podcast too. Is similar, So
that's right.
Same mindset, similar business. So how the growth hacking secrets community people are watching? I don't know how many manufacturers will be watching this one. However, how they can support you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, follow me on LinkedIn. There's probably about 10,000 Joe Sullivans on LinkedIn. I couldn't have a more common name. Muhammad, you've got a little more unique a name than me, but Joe Sullivan, Gorilla 76 is my company. Follow me on LinkedIn or connect, reach out. Would love to hear from you and engage in my content if it's engaging, and I will do the same back. I think that's a great way to start. And if you are in the manufacturing world, check out the big URL that's up on screen right now, themanufacturingexecutive.com. That's our podcast, and we're bringing in leaders from all different facets of manufacturing to talk about a variety of things related to growth.
Wonderful. Themanufacturingexecutive.com. Go check that out. It has all the episodes about the podcast. Start listening. You won't believe it. Manufacturing or any other business, there are so many common things, common trait to actually grow. You can pick up all those ones, even though it's a manufacturing one. However, it's just another business, So,
yep.
Yeah. So there's a lot to learn from each other. Thank you so much. Again, themanufacturingexecutive.com. As we are about to wrap up, Joe, what would you say about your today's guest experience on Growth Hacking Secret Show?
I think it's great. I love what you're doing. I love that you're connecting with a variety of different people and hearing their stories. And I think others out here who are watching should think about how you can replicate this. There's a really great book called Content-Based Networking by James Carberry that I'd recommend you check out. And it's really just about doing what you're doing here. It's building relationships with people by creating content with them, and especially the people that you want to be able to reach. So love what you're doing, and I applaud you on it.
Thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. What would you say as a final word?
Final word? Good question. I guess I'd say take some of the secrets to success, especially, I'm a marketing guy, get out there, figure out how to do your version of what Muhammad's doing here, whether it's written or video or audio or whatever, and have an opinion out there. Publish your insights, and good things will come from it.
Wonderful. Joe, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.